This is Morning Juice. Sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thitoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
Attack and dominate on this Tuesday. I'm Tito Jeff Thitoff. To my right, Bodie Wells. To my west, one Bobby Carpenter. Out there in Tucson, Arizona. Bob, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing today?
Doing all right. Got more rain yesterday, which is always good because we really need rain here in town right now, so that was nice. Big show lineup for you today. Jake Burns will join us, the Browns film breakdown at 7:20. We'll talk to him. Morning Juice sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. 2 full hours here on YouTube, the Fan app, Twitter, and Facebook. Catch the show from 10 a.m. to noon on 10 TV Plus. Download the podcast anywhere you get your audio. Reds Cardinals, little day-night doubleheader last night. Cardinals over the Reds 2-1 in the opener, and then in the nightcap, Reds 6, Cardinals 5 in 10 innings. Elly De La Cruz, Bob, had his first walk-off hit of his career in the major leagues. That surprised me. I thought he would have more than one with all the opportunities he probably had.
Yeah, I mean, you think he's been up now in the bigs for a number of years. Heck of a player. So yeah, you could imagine he probably would have had one before this. Or
yeah,
I'm curious to see how many opportunities he's had to be able to pull that off before ultimately succeeding or failing and finally getting his first success.
Reds host the Cardinals tonight at 6:40. The Guardians are off. They host San Francisco tonight at 6:40. We got the AP polls being released. We'll talk about that coming up in the next segment. College football teams ranked in tiers. The college football heavy show, and then obviously we'll do that. Like I said, Jake Burns joins us for the Browns film breakdown. That'll be at around 7:20 on that one. Bob, let's jump right into it, bud. Make me smarter.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
All right, General, take it away.
Oh boy, here we go. It is Tuesday, August 18th, the 230th day of the year, 135 days remaining in this 2026. This date, 1590, John White, the governor of Roanoke, Virginia, returns from a supply trip to England to find Roanoke completely deserted and abandoned. It was one of the unique mysteries of the early colonial settlements because everything looked like it was just natural, normal. People just walked out of there. There was no sign of struggle, no attack or anything like that. This date, 1920, the 19th Amendment of the Constitution is ratified, guaranteeing women's suffrage their right to vote. 1964, South Africa is banned from the Olympics for their continued apartheid. And then in 1973, Diana Ross taking it to number 1 with Touch Me in the Morning.
The last time that you touched me in the morning, then just close the door.
Oh, and after passing away a few days earlier in 1977, the King, Elvis Presley, his funeral was held at his home in Graceland. There were 150 people that attended the funeral inside, but outside over 75,000 joined to try to get one last look and honor the King.
Pandemonium has broken out here on Elvis Presley Boulevard in Memphis. Thousands of fans from all over the country are converging on Graceland, trying to get in to view the body of the 42-year-old king of rock and roll. The world is shocked by Elvis Presley's sudden death after attempts to save his life failed. The apparent cause, according to his personal physician, Dr. George Nicopolis, is a heart attack. The singer's father, Vernon Presley, has requested that an autopsy be performed.
Oh, wild stuff. 42, and then obviously the passing of Hayden Panettiere yesterday, who was one of the stars in Nashville. Oh, a lot of rough news. This date, 1979, Chick goes to number 1 with Good Times. There we go, just bouncing and bumping all day long with some good times. And then 1984, right? Go ahead.
No, say I think it's
What's the
chic, not chick. I think it's chic.
Chic?
Yeah, I think it's what it is.
Even better.
CHIC,
There you
right?
go. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's what it is.
that's it. Yeah, that sounds good. Better to me. This day, 1984, Red Hot Chili Peppers released their self-titled debut album as well. Some birthdays today. Born on this date, 1834, Marshall Fields is born, the founder of the store that bears his name. 1920, passing away in 2006, won 2 Academy Awards, Miss Shelley Winters.
We'll go to another town where nobody knows us, and we'll get jobs, maybe together. We'll do things together and go out together, just like any other old married couple. And George, you'll see, after a while you'll settle down and you'll be happy and content with what you got instead of working yourself up all the time over things you can't have. After all, it's the little things in life that count. Sure, maybe we'll have to scrimp and save, but we'll have each other. I'm not afraid of being poor.
What was that from, Bodie?
Hello, check 1 2. Check. There we go. Why was my mic so low? A Place in the Sun. Not
Yes.
really sure what the vibe of the movie is overall, but in that particular scene, it seemed like the one man was kind of taking her out on a boat in the middle of a lake to maybe dispose of her, if I'm being honest.
There you go.
So
Love it.
Yeah.
Former Reds owner Marge Schott, who everybody loved, born on this date, 1928.
Lansford, good hitting Oakland third baseman, and Myers bringing it. And the pitch is hit in the air, foul, off first, Benzinger backing and calling. And the 1990 World Championship belongs to the Cincinnati Reds. As you might expect, they pile out of the dugout. They are jumping up and high-fiving. All smiles as Lou Piniella and his coaching staff break out of the dugout. Gloves and caps all over the infield. The Cincinnati Reds have done the absolute improbable by defeating the club considered to be the best in Major League Baseball, and they've done it in a 4-game series sweep.
Beat the Oakland A's. I was in second grade. A huge win for Ohio. The A's were rolling back then. Was Eckersley still on that squad at that point in time?
Yes, he was. Yep, he sure was.
Very, very talented squad. Great lineup there, too. Had a lot of the original juice balls on it, Bodie.
Canseco, McGuire, Bob Welch, I think, won 27 games that year for the Athletics and won the Cy Young Award. But, yeah, the Reds had series MVP Jose Rio, and then I think Marge Schott did not have, like, any kind of didn't pay for any kind of, like, when they got back meal or something like that, celebratory meals. I think they got, like, burgers or something as a group.
Oh, there you go. What a great owner.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for. Really the investment in the city and in the club. Good for Marge.
The dog go out there and takes a dump on the AstroTurf before the game sometimes. They got to clean it up. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's what you like. But listen, she was born on the same day as another iconic baseball player, born on this date, 1934, the 15-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion, the 66 MVP of the National League. Gone far too soon, Mr. Roberto Clemente.
Matlack on the 0-1. Bobby hits a drive into the gap in the left center field. There she is. For a double. Papers flying, everybody standing. A double for Roberto.
He called him Bobby at the beginning of that, and reportedly Clemente hated when people called him Bobby because they're trying to make him sound more American. He was proud of his heritage. He always wanted to be called Roberto.
Well, that's what I've said that many times. No one listens to me either. I can understand him. Born on this date, 1936, passed away last year. One of the great actors of our day. Another great Rob, Mr. Robert Redford.
That's your great idea. Oh, boy, it's the latest in a long line. Australia's no better than here. Oh, that's all you know. Name me one thing. They speak English in Australia. They do? That's right, smart guys, so we wouldn't be foreigners. They got horses in Australia. Now they got thousands of miles we could hide out in. A good climate, nice beaches. You can learn to swim.
No, swimming isn't important. What about the banks?
They're easy. Easy, ripe, and luscious.
The banks are the women.
Well, once you got one, you got the other.
It's a long way, though, isn't it?
Ah, everything's got to be perfect with you.
I just don't want to get there and find out it stinks. That's all.
Movie boats?
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Sundance Kid? That's what I thought. Some nice little juicy banks, doing a little bank robbing back in the day. Another great actor, and lost him about 15, 16 years ago now. Born in this state, 1952. You want to be crazy like Swayze, our man, Patrick Swayze.
You can rest now. Just hang on, man. It's okay. Just hang on, man. Daddy'll be here soon, man. Hang on, man. Come on, man. Daddy'll be here soon. Come on. It's okay. Come on, man. I'll hold you as long as I can, man. I'll hold you as long as I can. You lean on me. But I'm so tired.
What movie was that from?
The
Boats?
Red Dawn?
Well, it wasn't a movie. It was a live documentary, Red Dawn, him and Charlie Sheen. He
Oh,
was carrying out
okay.
his deceased brother, Charlie Sheen, and
Yes,
towards the end there.
a live documentary. Yeah, that's tremendous. I was going to say, I've never seen Red Dawn. I'm going to have to go back and watch it. They were talking about it in the Sheen documentary on Netflix, which is
It's a
pretty
good flick. Red Dawn's a good flick.
All right. Well, there you go. I'll have to put that down, Thitoff. One that you've seen that I haven't that is a good flick. Check that out.
FNAF.
Turning 68 today, one of the stars of Last of the Mohicans, 12 Monkeys, Miss Madeline Stowe.
Go ahead!
The bloody hell planet is this?
I want you to go!
If we go, there's a chance there won't be a fight. Stop louder! If we don't go in that, there's no chance, none. You understand? Coward!
You've done everything you can do! Save yourself! If the worst happens...
You stay alive! If you don't kill him, they'll take you north up to Huron land. You submit, you hear? You're strong, you survive! You stay alive, no matter what occurs! I will find you. No matter how long it takes, no matter how far. I will find you.
Oh, her and Daniel Day-Lewis, Last of the Mohicans. Great movie. Have you seen that movie, Thitoff?
No, I haven't seen that one. And that sounds unrealistic, too. Whenever somebody said back then, like, I will find you no matter what, I'll scour the world. Look, you give up after about a couple of weeks, I would think. I don't think
Maybe you would.
No,
but
I think most
not
people would.
everybody.
Think about the world, okay? Just think about the world. And you're saying I'll go all over the world to find you? That's such exaggeration. There's no way.
He didn't say I'll go over the world. He said they're going to take you up to Huron lands. It's a Native American tribe. They're going to go anywhere on foot.
I know he said I'll find you wherever you are.
Yes, it probably in the northeast region of America. That's where you're going to be.
Still
not in Africa, not in Australia, and that's what they did.
That's
they
another
did
country entirely.
Scouting, exactly. Maybe into early southern part of Canada, but that's what they were going to do. He did scout it out, found her, found the tribe, found them. It was a whole deal. It's a really good movie, and it's no surprise you haven't seen it because of how good it is. But the score in it is fantastic. Schleggs and I used to listen to it before games. It's amazing. See when he's running through the woods, the music behind it is absolutely tremendous. Turning 57, the former lead of House of Pain had a great solo career as well, Mr. Everlast. Turning 46 today, funny man, Mr. Andy Samberg.
Whoa. Free boat ride for 3. Now, who should I take? Keeve? Yes. And T-Pain. Cool.
Get your towels ready, it's about to go down. Everybody in the place hit the open deck, but stay on your mother toes. We running this, let's go. I'm on a boat, I'm on a boat. Everybody look at me, 'cause I'm sailing on a boat.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm on a boat, take a good hard look at the mother boat. I'm on a boat.
Oh, that's good. I love his stuff on SNL is so good. All of his singing things. Oh, turning at 46. Or actually, Andy's turned 48. Turning 46 today, Mr. Bart Scott.
To all the non-believers. How did that? To all the non-believers. Especially you, Tom Jackson. Way to have our back, Keyshawn. Anybody can be beat. So how did that just feel? Felt great. Poetic justice. We know we were a much better team than we came up and represented ourselves. And we're pissed off. People gave us no chance, like we barely made it in playoffs. We're a good football team. It looks like this team played with anger all day. Why, Bart? For all you non-believers, disrespect us, talk crap about the defense like we ain't the 3rd best defense in the league. All we hear is about their defense. They can't stop a nosebleed. 25th in the league, and we the one to get disrespected. Congratulations. See you in Pittsburgh. Can't wait.
Can't wait. It sounds like you guys played angry. Why, I don't know where you get that idea from. I mean, to all the non-believers out there, I love Bart. He's an entertaining fellow, to say the least. And then turning 46, sharing the same birthday, one of the great tight ends in the NFL, a alum of the U, Mr. Jeremy Shockey.
Blitz. Flipped up for Shockey. He fought for it. Touchdown, rookie. Shockey, amazing.
Well, if there was any doubt before, there is no more. There is your rookie of the year, Jeremy Shockey. Brian Dawkins has the interception, has it right in his hands, and Shockey just takes it away from him.
I was so worried when you said former University of Miami tight end great, you were going to go with Kellen Winslow.
Well, he was Kellen's mentor, I think. He was there just before him. So helped shepherd him through some tough times and lead him on the path where he ultimately ended up. So, I mean, it's got to be exciting for him to be a part of that as well. And those are the birthdays and your passings today. We have Mr. Walter Chrysler passing away in 1940, the man who founded the Chrysler Company, which we know makes all those automobiles. Some holidays and observances today. It is mail order catalog day. I don't know if anyone orders anything off mail order catalogs anymore. National Ice Cream Day. How about that? National Fajita Day as well. And Never Give Up Day. And those your historical events, your birthdays, your passings, your holidays, and observances for this date, Tuesday, August 18th, the 230th day of the year, and 135 days remaining in this 2026.
Just let it build.
Okay. I was made aware of this ahead of time. I thought
Do you know what this is?
Sounds like a drum beating.
You'd be correct on that, yeah.
Yes. This is so good. So good.
Like a diamond in an ice storm, Bob.
It really is. Have you seen Last Mohicans, Bodie?
No, I've not, but I've heard this song.
Oh, this is amazing. You got to watch this movie. It is really good.
Add it to the list.
It is. It's what put Daniel Day-Lewis on the map. Like it made him famous. It was unreal.
Is that before he started killing zombies as Abe Lincoln?
Yes, this was like way before that. This is before he was Bill the Butcher in Gangs of New York, before he was Abe Lincoln, Vampire Slayer, and all the good stuff. He was
It's on Amazon Prime right now. I might just watch it during the show.
Was he in My Left Foot?
My Left Foot?
Yeah.
Okay.
My Left Foot, yep.
Nobody's heard
It's a 1989
nobody's heard of that one. But
yes, they have. It was like it won some Oscars also. I mean, it was like a critically acclaimed movie. Won 2 Oscars.
Okay.
Nominated 5 of them. Yeah.
See, 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. All right, I take that back.
You guys get movie knowledge. Any movie knowledge? I'm the guy you go to there.
Have you seen that though? Thitoff?
I've seen clips. It's not really my style. It's and I can't remember exactly. It's a tough watch. I think this guy could only.
How would you know?
Because of the clips I saw, the guy could only use his left foot. That's all he could control. I mean, obviously no action, no fighting. I wouldn't think.
Well,
I mean, I don't know if Charlie Murphy showed up. I don't know if he did anything there, but yeah. So a lot of people loved it, but
is this based on a true story?
Yeah, that too. Huh. I don't like it's. I don't like watching movies make me uncomfortable.
Well, you probably could have just stopped at I don't like watching movies.
No, and if I see somebody who can look for the left foot does more in their life than I do in mine, that's really troublesome. I don't like watching. I like looking in the mirror sometimes. That's why I never watched the Ray Charles movie. Or,
that's why.
That's the reason why. Reasons. Yeah, the Jimmy Fox movie about Ray Charles. Yeah, that was the reason. Coming up next, something happened with the AP preseason poll that has not happened since 1961. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town and the opportunity to work right alongside them as partners? Whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area, and they're going to help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them in person at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Retirement from football hits everyone differently. For DeVere Posey and Dane Sanzenbacher, it means sitting around watching sports clips on the internet and arguing about them. Search for Didn't Catch That on YouTube and subscribe.
I'm Jeff Hogan. I've been a journalist at 10 TV for more than 20 years. I moved back to Columbus with my beautiful wife and our 2 amazing daughters and our golden retriever, Harley. This community brought me back because this is where I feel connected. Where my daughters were born, this is my home. And that is to say, I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all. And that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer, to speak up or lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
At QC Kinetics Columbus, patients find lasting joint pain relief.
Hi, I'm Bobby Carpenter.
And I'm Jake Ballard.
And we are both QC Kinetics believers. We are both pain-free in the knees.
Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation.
Everybody thinks they're a great driver.
And Outlaw Motor Speedway gives you a chance to prove it.
Experience professional racing simulators, full motion rigs, and some of the world's most iconic tracks right here in Grandview.
Race your friends, join a league, or bring the entire office out for an unforgettable corporate event.
And when the checkered flag drops, keep the night going with great drinks and food right here or next door with the Agave and Rye.
Then climb back in the driver's seat and see who has what it takes.
Don't miss out. Book your race today. OutlawSimRacing.com.
Delaware County Veteran Services is a county office that faithfully assists veterans of Delaware County. Although not the Department of Veterans Affairs, we help veterans and their dependents navigate through the process of applying for benefits administered by the VA, and we provide transportation to VA medical facilities. So if you're a military veteran or a spouse of a veteran, schedule your appointment today. A wide range of VA and local benefits may be available to you. Delaware County Veteran Services, conveniently located in the historic courthouse in Delaware.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Bobby, Tito, Bodie with you. Bob, let's first do, I don't know if Bodie's prepared for this question or not, but Bodie, how did we do in our picks? You got that?
Yes, I do. Let me pull it up here. All right, so I was the only one to have all 5 teams correct.
Humble brag. How's brag?
No big deal.
There we go.
Yeah. You guys both had Ohio State, Oregon 1-2. Tito, you had the Irish, Texas, IU. Bob, you had Texas, Notre Dame, IU. I had Oregon, Notre Dame, Georgia, 3-4-5. So I don't know who wins, really, to be honest.
Sounds
with
like you won. You got all 5 of them right.
I did get all 5. Not really. I got 2 out of the 5 in order.
Still, I think you got it, though. Thank you. I think I would declare him the winner, Bob. Would you do the same?
Yeah, I'll give him that. That Bodie he got all 5, at least in some particular order.
The last time 2 teams from the same conference held the top 2 spots in the preseason poll was 1987. Bob, care to give a guess?
One more time. Last
1987.
time,
the last time 2 teams from the same conference were the 1 and 2 in the preseason poll. It was 87.
87. Miami won it that year, but they were independent at that point, weren't they?
Might have been or Big East, but there's no other good Big East team.
No,
so, yeah.
they weren't in the Big East then. That wasn't until a year or two later, like early 90s. I would have to guess. I don't think it would have been the Big Ten because Ohio State wasn't any good then.
Ohio State, I think, was 5th that year in the preseason poll, 87.
Oh, really?
Yep.
They lost to Indiana.
They were 4th. I'm sorry, they were 4th in the preseason poll that year.
All right, so it's definitely not the Big Ten. I would say I'll say the Pac-12.
Oklahoma, Nebraska in the Big 8.
Big 8, there we go.
UCLA was 3rd, then Ohio State, Auburn. Anyway, so the last time, this is only the second time that 2 Big Ten teams have been 1 and 2 in the preseason poll, going back to 1961 when it was Iowa and Ohio State. We're 1 and 2 in that one. So anyway, so
it's a long time ago.
Been a minute. It has been a minute. No first place votes for the SEC, Bob.
It's also the last time Iowa scored more than 30 points in a game, I think.
30 points in a season. Clemson unranked for the first time since. Good.
Well, that's amazing because, in 1988, I think was the last time Ohio State wasn't ranked in the AP top 25 to start the season. So a year after they were ranked in the top 5, they went unranked the following season. Coincidentally, I think both those seasons they lost to Indiana.
I think you're right on that, Bob. The 87 season, coming off the 86 when they won the Cotton Bowl, and they go into 87. It turned out to be Earl Bruce's final year, if I'm not mistaken, right? And then that's the and so there was a lot of hype coming up because you had Spielman, you had Chris Carter back. Well, you were supposed to until the suspension. Until you got he was supposed to be back, but like going in, there was a lot of momentum around the Ohio State program when into 87. But yeah, then they end up unranked in 88 in Cooper's first year. So the Clemson unranked first time since 2011. Bob, surprise you or not?
It doesn't. I mean, their win total is 7.5. I mean, if you had told me they were 17 or lower, I would say that's probably right too. But them being unranked, they've got a lot of issues. And last year they were supposed to be a lot better. They were in the top 10 and fell out dramatically. So they've got a lot of work to do. They used to. My man Jacob Hester used to call it the benefit of the doubt club, where they would always get the benefit of the doubt because they were so good and they had been so good that you believe like, hey, they're just going to find a way to figure this out regardless of who's coming back. They recruited at a high level. Maybe they won't be, super high end great, but they'll always be competitive, win some big time games. And I mean, after the last couple of years, it feels like they've lost that ability.
So Indiana, similar, not quite as drastic, though, as to what happened in the coaches poll. They were second among getting first-place votes and still sixth in the poll. Texas and Georgia, neither of them got first-place votes. They finished ahead of them, but they had more first-place votes. Indiana did the number 4 Notre Dame. And then so I don't know how to read into that, Bob. I guess it's just that they're a very polarizing team as far as the preseason polls go.
Yeah, I mean, there's people that believe in them and think like, hey, they saw what they saw last year. They think that this is going to continue. And there's people like you who think Kurt Cignetti is a fraud somehow. I don't know where they base that information, but they're not going to rank him in the top 7, 8, 9. Maybe they had him ranked 10th. So I don't know where they get that. He's done it this will be his 3rd different quarterback. I don't know why people would believe that they won't be at least like top, 7 or 8 good based upon what they've done the last couple of years.
I also think as far as first place votes go, I think there's a lot of AP voters who say the reigning champs just get put at number 1.
And so,
and then they just leave him there until at least a week or two.
Right.
And you know what? If IU comes out and I don't want to say plays poorly because their schedule's so bad at the beginning, it's hard to play poorly. But like if Ohio State beats Texas or vice versa,
right?
Maybe then they would like flip it. But I do think there's always a handful of people every year who just say reigning champs, unless you maybe lose everybody and your head coach or something.
Yeah.
I wonder if because and I could probably look this up, but I bet even outside of maybe that Michigan team a couple years ago, but I like I said, I do feel like there's always just some voters who say reigning champs get put number one until the next season starts.
So Indiana,
there's a handful of teams. I want to say Indiana this year, Michigan, maybe one or two others that I saw that haven't been ranked in the top 5 as defending champs. But the list is very, very short.
So we just said Indiana was 6, Miami 7. So you got Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame, Texas, Indiana, Miami. 19 of the last 22 champions have come from the top 7, within the top 7 somewhere in there. So
last year they did not.
Last
year they didn't.
Right, you're right.
Indiana, I think, was ranked 20th to start the season.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So do you buy into the fact then, Bob? I'm looking at 8, 9, 10, A&M, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, LSU, Texas Tech, Alabama. Yeah,
here's the
good.
Here's the thing, though, Jeff. Like when you start looking at those statistics, those have been under different paradigms where like the setup was significantly different. So it almost needs to look at under the last 2 years. So I understand that sample size is incredibly small, but as you change the process for defining a champion, before you lost one game, you were probably out. 2 games out for sure. Then you went to the 4 team. It's like, okay, you could maybe lose one and still have a chance to get in. Probably not 2, but possibly. And then all of a sudden you changed it to where like, hey, if you're in a big conference, you're a good team, and you lose 2 games, you're probably still getting in most of the time. Now, not always.
Right.
Look at Notre Dame and, obviously last year. But when you go to a 12 team, that opens it up dramatically to where you don't need to be so close to the top. You don't need to be in the top 7 or 8 because before you either had to be in the top 1 or 2 or then the top 4. Now you can just really be in the top 10 or 11.
Alabama checks in at 13, snapping a 17-year-long streak of being in the preseason top 10. SEC with 9 teams, Big Ten with 8. I don't know which one we accept better. Which conference is better there, Bob? 9 SEC, 8 Big Ten. And then most top 25 opponents. Ohio State's second on that list. They have 6 top 25 opponents. So I guess they're really tied for 4th, but because there's 3 teams that got 7. Right, Bodie? The
Sure.
4th,
yeah,
right?
that stuff always breaks my brain a little bit. But
Kentucky, Texas, and Arkansas all have 7 opponents in the top 25.
Arkansas?
And then you threw me off there for a second, Bodie. I actually thought I made a mistake somewhere.
No, you're good.
Ohio State, Michigan among teams right there that have to play that play 6 of them. So, excuse me. We've settled. I started to sneeze and I held it in.
Yeah, you had Oklahoma, Michigan, Mississippi State, Ohio State, Ole Miss, and A&M as the 5 teams that have, 6 teams that play 6 top 25 opponents.
The Alabama thing, Bob. You talked about the reputation. What'd you say it was the reputation when they get in? What'd you say about the benefit of the doubt? Right, was with Clemson every time.
Benefit of the doubt club, and Alabama had always had that. I mean, there was always the belief with Nick Saban that regardless of who they lost, they were going to be in contention for the national championship. And now that we are a handful of years removed from Nick Saban being gone, you've seen this team, the identity and the fabric of them. Like last year, they couldn't run the ball, and they really didn't play all that good a defense. And that had never been the case before with a Nick Saban coached Alabama team. And if you can run it and play defense, you always have a chance. Well, last year they were not all that good. In their last 3 games, they played about 1 good half of football and were 1-2 in those games and probably should have been 0-3.
The streak of 17 straight preseason top 10 appearances was second all-time behind USC, who had 19 from 65 to 83. Florida State had 16 from 87 to 02, and then Ohio State had 14 from 2013 to 2026. No group of 6 schools in the top 25, so not really a big surprise there. But, yeah, Ohio State having the schedule they've got, it just further reiterates the fact how damn tough this is going to be this year.
it's just going to be a different year. It's going to be something like they haven't experienced in a while with how good everything is. And so there's probably going to be a loss or two in there. Doesn't guarantee it, but there's a decent chance that might be the case. So Ryan knows it. That's why they've been trying to get everybody ready. That's why this camp is incredibly imperative that they come out swinging, because they start off with Texas and then they have 5 Big Ten ranked teams. And like, that's not even to say like Illinois might be ranked when they play them. Like, there's some other teams that might ascend even a little bit more that could be on that schedule as well.
When was the last time Ohio State lost a early season game?
They lost to Oregon.
Oregon when they came over here and played, before they joined the conference, right?
That was Ryan. That was what Ryan's
third year. 2021, yep.
2021. So that would probably be it. Outside of that, I don't think they've lost early in the season, correct?
I don't think in recent years. You guys in Texas, against Texas, right?
We lost to Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech, that's right. Virginia Tech was after that, yeah.
Oklahoma in 17.
Mayfield.
Oklahoma in 17 with Baker Mayfield here. They beat Oklahoma there the year before, and then Oregon, I think, in 2021. And they lost to USC in there. That would have been like 09. I want to say like Tress's second to last year, maybe.
Yeah.
They lost to USC here at home and on the road. So those are a couple of them. But the last one most recently would have been Oregon when they couldn't stop a crack toss.
How about that? Such a frustrating game to watch. Anyway, all right, coming up next, folks, we'll do some quick hitters. Morning Juice.
At QC Kinetics Columbus, patients find lasting joint pain relief. Regenerative treatments help repair damaged tissue. No surgery, downtime, or steroids.
So after I got done playing football, I still like to work out, go do all of the activities that I love so much. And unfortunately, I started having a little bit of pain in my knee. That's when I went and saw my friends at QC Kinetics. We were able to go in there, get the consultation, get treated, and now my knees, well, they're as good as new.
Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. Better starts here.
Since 1969, Germain Toyota of Columbus has been delivering an exceptional experience to Central Ohio drivers. Whether it's versatile SUVs, stylish trucks, or efficient hybrids, Germain Toyota has a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles at customer-friendly rates, backed by 2 years of maintenance with Toyota Care and same-day service from our trusted team of technicians. Experience the difference with every drive at Germain Toyota of Columbus.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town and the opportunity to work right alongside them as partners? Whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area, and they're going to help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them in person at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Morning Juice is now live on YouTube. Join Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Thitoff weekday mornings from 6 to 8.
Just search 971 The Fan to catch the live experience or watch on demand.
The Fan.
Delaware County Veteran Services is a county office that faithfully assists veterans of Delaware County. Although not the Department of Veterans Affairs, we help veterans and their dependents navigate through the process of applying for benefits administered by the VA, and we provide transportation to VA medical facilities. So if you're a military veteran or a spouse of a veteran, schedule your appointment today. A wide range of VA and local benefits may be available to you. Delaware County Veteran Services, conveniently located in the historic courthouse in Delaware.
Everybody thinks they're a great driver, and Outlaw Motor Speedway gives you a chance to prove it. Experience professional racing simulators, full motion rigs, and some of the world's most iconic tracks right here in Grandview. Race your friends, join the league, or bring the entire office out for an unforgettable corporate event. And when the checkered flag drops, keep the night going with great drinks and food right here or next door with the Agave and Rye. Then climb back in the driver's seat and see who has what it takes. Don't miss out. Book your race today. OutlawSimRacing.com.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, ooh, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan. We built a brand new studio just for Bobby, and Tito has already ruined it just by being here.
I'm pregnant.
This is Morning Juice.
All right, Morning Juice. 09 USC was second game of the season. The Oklahoma game was second game of the season. Oregon's second game of the season. The last few times there, Ohio State has lost their second game.
When did they play Texas?
When did they play Texas? Yeah, I think it's week 2, if I'm not mistaken. I can look it up, but I'm pretty sure. No, I thought you said when did they play Texas. I was thinking about back with Bobby. It took me a second to decipher what you said actually there.
Also second game of the season.
Yep. All right, Bodie, let's do some quick hitters.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
All right, fellas, happy Tuesday. We'll stay with college football here a little bit. If you have ever dreamed about joining the millions, I say slightly sarcastically, that already vote on the Heisman Trophy, I've got good news for you because the new team at Heisman has launched, quote, Heisman Hopefuls, which is a new data, storytelling, and fan-driven platform that will allow fans to place the first official vote for the Heisman Trophy. Starting with this upcoming season, fans will be able to vote daily with the weights of the votes shifting throughout the season. The winner of the fan vote will be announced live on ESPN on Conference Championship Weekend here in early December, and that'll be the first official vote casted for this season's Heisman Trophy Award race. Bobby, they say all votes count the same. Your vote's still going to count a little bit more than mine does as I vote with the fans, but it's kind of fun, kind of cool for fans to get in on the action here if they don't already have a Heisman Trophy vote, which I know in talking with you, there are a lot of people out there that do have them.
Well, every former player gets a vote, or former winner gets a vote, and then you get your regional votes throughout, and I don't know how much all those people watch all the games. And then you have some. I'm one of the national voters in there as well. But this is crazy because they're going to announce it. So basically, like, you're going to have a fan-issued Heisman, and that will count as one vote of the however many couple hundred they have voting on it, maybe up to 1,000. I have no idea. And they're going to announce that, and that to me is wild. Like. So you'll have like the unofficial fan-voted Heisman Trophy, essentially.
Why not give out a different Heisman Trophy to the fan winner also? Just do that. Let's have a different one. Let's put a different player on there instead of Jay Burwanger. Is that what Jay Burwanger? Is that what the Heisman is, Bob? Am I wrong on that? Is the Heisman?
Jay Burwanger.
I think that's who the Heisman's modeled after.
I thought it was just Heisman himself.
I don't
John
think it is.
Heisman. Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I can look. But anyway, Bob, I would love. I think it's weird they're going to announce it also, though. You know, I think it's weird they're going to announce that fan vote thing.
Oh, it's fine. It's just different. Like, so I mean, then you're going to have debates over like who got it right. Do the fans know more than the people watching? Like, I don't know. Maybe. You know, it's modeled after Ed Smith, a running back who played for New York University football team. Well, the award is named after the football pioneer John Heisman.
Okay.
The stiff arm pose was sculpted by Frank Alescu using Smith as his visual model.
Burwanger won the first one. That's where I was getting a little confused on that, I guess. But yeah,
our train was on the tracks.
It was on the track. I was on the wrong tracks.
Destination was unclear at first, but we were going to get somewhere with that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the fan vote goes and how people. But I think Mendoza last year was like third or something like that.
Yeah, and there was a Nebraska player who was second, which if I had to take a shot in the dark, that was because old Big Red Faithful might have just flooded the ballots.
Emmett Johnson was second.
Good for them, I guess. I don't know if he was the most deserving player, but I guess if you got the fan support behind you.
Texas Tech linebacker Jake Rodriguez.
Is because now, I mean, these large fan bases will be able to. It's not gonna really impact the overall voting, but it will be interesting to see, like with people with this, who they choose to go after, who they support, and how that's going to ultimately look.
Next up here, guys, RIP LIV. Another shot to Live Golf took place on Monday, as after weeks of tour officials insisting that it would take place, they announced the cancellation of the team championship, which was scheduled to take place on the last weekend of August, later on this month. Live Golf also announced that the post-round concerts featuring Thomas Rhett and DJ Disco Lines following this week's event in Indianapolis have also been canceled, unfortunately. This is the second event to be canceled since the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund announced back in April that they would be pulling their future funding for the league. Live Golf CEO Scott O'Neill has been pitching Live 2.0, better than ever, to private investors in hopes of keeping things alive going forward after this year. But Tito, I don't know, man, kind of seems like it's on life support, and got to be honest, might just be worth letting this one lay at rest.
Yeah, I remember. I think Bob, you and I had John Gerber on early on to Live Stuff, or maybe it was on a Fan Sports Saturday. Anyway, and he talked about I don't think it's going to last. He said they're going to put all this money into it, and that's fine, but it's not going. It'll end up fading away rather quickly. And they've had a decent run. I got a couple of buddies that like watching it. I haven't talked to many other people that like actually seek out and watch Live Golf. I tuned in one time, and it was like it was too different for me. You know what I mean? Like the shorts, the music, the team thing is stupid too.
So you're telling me the shorts are what led you to not?
I said it just looked different to me. That's why I tuned in to see it, Bob. It looked like the fact that it's 3 rounds. And I'm not saying 3 rounds is terrible. It's just I'm not used to watching a 3-round tournament on the men's side. So
hold up. Do you watch all 4 rounds of most majors?
No, I don't. When I watch the majors, I watch some of all 4 rounds, yes. Of the majors, I'll watch some of all 4 rounds, yes. Not start to finish. I'm not going to do that. But, Bob, I do. I'm just saying, just as a consumer of the product, it looked too different to me. And so I would, after that first time watching, like, this looks stupid to me. Because that's not what I'm conditioned to like.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, the fact that it's 3 rounds versus 4, like, when I'm watching it, that never came into my conscious. The fact you have to wear pants, like, whatever. Like, I've never really understood that. I mean, I know there's history and everything behind it. I mean, the reality is, like, there's no history to Live. And golf is an old game. It's one of the oldest games in the United States. And so there's so much history behind it. You know, when you start talking about the guys that have played at the different courses, and they talk about who's played there historically and everything else, Live doesn't have any of that. And so they're trying to make golf cool and for the new modern era. And it's really never landed, no matter who they had over there. So those guys left. They got a ton of money. I said, God bless America and capitalism, and maybe the Saudis for paying them.
I was going to say.
Wherever it's at, you know. I mean, and so they were able to do that. Now, I just don't know what happens to these guys moving forward if they're not able to get back on the PGA because those guys are salty because I get it, because they didn't get the tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars that some of these players got. And I don't know if they thought that this gravy train would last forever, but it's drying up now. But they got all the money. So, like, that's what the money's for. So you have to pay these fines and sit out to get back on. Like, dude, if you want to have them pay a fine to get back on the tournament, have them do that. But, like, ultimately, though, the things that happened from this were better for the golfers on the PGA side as well. So they should be thanking those guys.
Well, sure, Bob. It's very much akin to what happened when the USFL challenged the NFL, right? NFL salaries got bumped after that because there was that other option out there for USFL players, and that ultimately helped them, even though USFL failed after a couple of years. But it's a thing where you're right. The competition did it. Greg Norman tried to start a tour up or do something separate with PGA back in like the late 80s, early 90s. He tried that and never got off the ground. And then this one, he was there with Mickelson doing all this, but. You're right. It is ultimately better. It is ultimately better for all the other golfers on the PGA Tour because the purses get increased. They have different awards now and ways you can earn bonus money based on how often you play and how many majors you're in and things like that. There's all kinds of ties into that. So yeah, I think it's one of those things where I mean, it was a bold move, Cotton. I got to see that movie too, but it's but nonetheless better for the tour overall.
Should you be allowed to quote that movie if you haven't seen it?
Oh, no, I don't know.
No.
That's a pretty quick ruling. You don't even think about it.
That's really my ruling for all movies. If you haven't watched it, seen a clip of it, it shouldn't be allowed to quote it. If you're not willing to take 2 hours to invest in it, then you don't get the access to all of the different quotable lines from the aforementioned movies.
It feels like you're on the fence about it. Let me know when you come to a final decision on that one there, Bob.
We'll have to leave it up to Chuck Norris to decide.
Fan vote.
Last one here, guys. Who says the Cowboys haven't won anything in 3 decades? Because for a 7th straight season, America's team tops the list of Sportico's annual list of the NFL's most valuable franchises, coming in at a whopping $15 billion with a B dollars. The average team value rose 31% over the last year from 2025 to 2026 and has increased 141% in the last 5 years. Behind Dallas was the LA Rams, New York Giants, New England Patriots, and New York Jets making up the top 5. The Cleveland Browns landed at number 21, and the Bengals, unfortunately for them, but hey, still pretty good, came in dead last at number 32. But good news is You know what they call the dumbest guy in medical school? A doctor. Bobby, back on February 25th, 1989, after pouring in, $800,000 or so into a well, the man struck oil. He said, Jerry, you just bought yourself the Dallas Cowboys. He bought the team for $140 million at the time, and now they're worth just a little bit more at $15 billion.
God bless America. That's all you got to say right there. And you know what? The Cincinnati Bengals, they might be last, but they're like $7.9 or $8 billion or whatever they are. Like, kudos to them for not really doing anything and investing at all in their product. And it's still appreciating due to the guys like Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft and, the Hunts and everybody else that pushes the league forward. And, the Browns are just hanging on and cruising along, just riding the coattails of everybody else. Hey, it's a good deal. But you know what I do know about the Dallas Cowboys is, oh, goodness, what year would that have been? A handful of years back, they lost a legendary pass rusher who's in the Hall of Fame to the Denver Broncos at the end of his career, and he went on to win the Super Bowl. Could history repeat itself just in the inverse with the legendary Broncos outside linebacker who was on that Super Bowl team, now going to the Dallas Cowboys.
Coming home.
So finish up his career with hoisting the Lombardi one last time, Bodie.
Jerry Jones, and I want to make sure I'm trying to think this through. I start to say something, I'm not sure where it's going to go. Jerry Jones is to NFL owners what Tiger Woods was to the PGA Tour. That accurate, you think, Bob? That analogy there?
Yeah. I would say that. He's not really adding a lot of diversity to the ownership group ethnically, but I think by the way he looked at life and just how he lived. He didn't need to watch it because he lived it. All right?
He lived it a few times even.
If you go watch The Gambler and His Boys, what he did with marketing in the NFL and just his ability he didn't have anything else. So he's like, I had to take the Dallas Cowboys and try to monetize them any possible way that I could and utilize all that they're about. So it was a big deal, and he did a heck of a job with it. So, I don't know if I'd say he quite had the social impact of Tiger Woods, but I think he probably did have his big – yeah, there's still time, though, that he probably had as big an impact on the game in general of, growing it into what it is now. Yeah, you could argue that.
I guess what I was thinking.
Did you ever watch that series on Netflix, The Gambler?
No, but I've seen the Gambler movie with Kenny Rogers back from the 80s. That was a good flick there. Great soundtrack. It's got the Gambler song on it, Bob, I think.
Similar vibe, I think.
Yeah. But what I was saying, though, is because when Tiger first got on the tour, other golfers, they didn't like his cockiness. They didn't like first of all, good he was, but he had this this Rick James aura around him. But a lot of the golfers that were turned off by him, and the older golfers, the older guard, and some of the older fans.
Because he was black. But sure.
Absolutely, Bob. No doubt about it. But he went out there, and because of him, everything raised up, and eventually people loved him. But I was saying, Jerry Jones the same way. I think the way Jerry Jones came in, if I remember correctly, a lot of NFL owners weren't a fan of what he was doing. A lot of NFL fans weren't a fan. Cowboys fans weren't a fan of what he was doing. He comes in and
fired Tom Landry.
Landry on the guillotine right away. And who was the other? Was Gil Brandt? Is that the other guy they got rid of? Was he the director? Or was it the GM or president? Whatever it was. Anyway, and brought in his own guys. And I think that a lot of Cowboys fans didn't like that, especially the older ones again. And a lot of NFL owners may not have liked him either because of how he came in and talked and how cocky he was. But eventually it's best for the owners what Jerry Jones being around. Bob, with the preseason poll, I want to talk about one more thing on this. Last year was the first time since Penn State and Clemson, both AP top 5, and then ended up, I believe, unranked then. Only 16 preseason top 5 teams have finished the season unranked since '89. The last time 2 top 5 teams did it was number 4 Florida, number 5 Texas, when they in 2010. Do you see a team in the top 5 that could have a similar fate to what Penn State and Clemson had last year in any way?
I don't know about top 5. One of my favorite things to do is to try to pick teams that are in top 10 in the AP that'll fall out, and then a team that's not in the top 20 that'll end up in the top 10. Last year, I was kind of half right. I said Miami might fall out, but I thought Indiana would be back up there. So
All right.
they both played for the national championship. One fell out, the other one, well, they kept getting better with it.
Oklahoma's 10, Ole Miss is 9, A&M 8, Miami 7, Indiana 6. It's them. Texas
A&M,
5.
I'm not a huge believer in A&M. Last year they had a really soft schedule, and they were good, but I'd have to look at their schedule again, and I'm not sure like how talented their team is. And also there's something about like handling success. There's expectations now with them, maybe more so than ever before. And anytime there's been big expectations on A&M, I don't feel like they've really risen to the challenge, at least here in recent note.
Among those teams there, 8, 9, 10, A&M, Ole Miss, and Oklahoma, they all have pretty tough schedules, at least on the surface, but OU in particular, at Michigan, hell, their first 5 games, home for UTEP, should win, at Michigan, home for New Mexico, at Georgia, and then you got Red River against Texas. That, if I told you they were 2 and 3, probably wouldn't shock you, right? And then they still have
possible.
Ole Miss, A&M, and Missouri to close the year. God bless Missouri. Number 25 in the rankings. Have they won anything of consequence to be deserved there? Probably not. And then you always kind of, you got a road trip at Florida, home for South Carolina, for an Oklahoma team that it sounds like they're going to be pretty stout on defense again this year, but offensively they were just such a mess last year, especially after Mateer got hurt, that we'll see if they can bounce back. And him being healthy obviously played a big factor in that.
You just mentioned Mateer's health, and you look at him last year, if the way he plays is a little reckless, and so if there is something that happens to Johnny Mateer, that season could pivot hard. And it is like that for most teams with their quarterback, but just the way he plays, I think it subjects him to further injury than maybe most quarterbacks. So that is one of the issues, if I was an Oklahoma fan, that I would be worried about.
A&M schedule, by the way, after they get by the Citadel on October 17th, that'll be a big one. They get to host that one. That's good for them. They're at Alabama, at South Carolina, host Tennessee, at Oklahoma, host Texas. That's a pretty tough run there for A&M at the end. And usually, that's when you would fall out of the rankings if you lost a few of those games versus losing a couple of early games like Oklahoma could. You know what I mean? It might be so. It'd probably be A&M or Oklahoma be the ones on my list there. I think that would be the ones in the top 10 that could be unranked when it's all said and done. All right, folks, coming up next, we love to tier things. All 138 FBS schools ranked. We'll talk about that next. This is Morning Juice.
I'm Yolanda Harris. I'm a journalist at 10 TV News. I grew up here, and after 25 years of telling this community's stories, this place still means so much to me. When I'm not in the newsroom, I'm usually out supporting the same people and causes I care deeply about. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still. It moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer, to speak up, or lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
The 10 TV Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the news you need. 10 TV Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town and the opportunity to work right alongside them as partners? Whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area, and they're going to help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them in person at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
Joint pain? How long do you got? I'm talking about my back, my elbow, and my shoulder. 24 years in the majors.
Roger the Rocket Clemens dominated the game, but even legends feel wear and tear.
I put my body through a lot for baseball. I didn't want more surgeries.
QC Kinetics regenerative treatments use your body's natural healing properties to help restore joints without surgery. And the results?
Pain is gone, I'm back, thanks to QC Kinetics.
Schedule your free consultation today. Better starts here.
Probably go another 3 innings.
Retirement from football hits everyone differently. For DeVere Posey and Dane Sanzenbacher, it means sitting around watching sports clips on the internet and arguing about them. Search for Didn't Catch That on YouTube and subscribe. Bobby is known as the General. Tito shops at Dollar General. This is Morning Juice.
Morning Juice, we continue predicting, prognosticate about college football the upcoming season. ESPN, Bob, they did a thing where they broke all these the teams into tiers and gave them titles, if you will. And tier 1 is the safest bets. And I want to know if you think they're missing anybody in this, or if you think they are, if somebody should not be in this list. Hoosiers, Miami, Notre Dame, Ohio State. Are those the 4 safest bets this season to not fall off?
No Oregon?
Oregon's not among the safest bets.
I would probably put Oregon in there.
You put Oregon up there? I could see Oregon being up there, but Oregon's in that second tier. On that first one, yeah, I mean, Steve Kerr notwithstanding, I love this Notre Dame team this year. They've got a lot of talent there, and I almost have more trust in Oregon than Miami. Why
is that?
Just because I think that Miami, they obviously had a great run last year, replacing their quarterback again. I know you got Mensa coming in from another Power 4 school, but I'm saying I think I trust Oregon more than Miami because I think Oregon's been more consistently trustable than Miami, if that makes sense.
What have they won to lead you to believe that they would be more consistent?
I'm not saying I'm saying they've won. I'm not saying they've won anything.
They've got smoked twice in the playoff.
They did, but consistently. But they're getting in the playoffs all the time, right?
Okay.
And Miami's not always. And I'm just saying Miami, though. I've trusted Oregon over the last under Dan Lanning. I think have been they've got a returning quarterback who could have been probably the number 2 overall pick of the draft last year in Dante Moore. So I think that they've got. I'm just saying I think I trust them more than Miami. I'm not saying Miami's going to fall off. I'm just saying I think that I would trust Oregon to have an Oregon type year than Miami to have another Miami type year from last year.
Well, look at their schedules. I mean, look at who Miami. They're in the ACC for heaven's sake. That like their ability to get into the playoff is going to be a significantly easier path, and especially now that they played for a national championship. They're going to be given the benefit of the doubt, even if they lose. They were given last year. They lost some bad teams, or average teams, and still got in because they're super talented. They lost a lot on their line. They obviously lost their quarterback, but I don't know that that was a huge loss. Mensa, I think it might actually be an upgrade. They still
really
have,
think so? Huh?
One of the best running. Yeah, I do think so. Like, what's his name? I mean, he wasn't anything to write home about. Mensa's really good. He gives them a level of athleticism at that position that they haven't had. So their schedule and, I mean, Mario Cristobal, I mean, for as many games as he has mismanaged, I think that they have a ton of talent in the teams that they're playing. There's going to be a greater gap in that talent pool than Oregon, who they're playing. So they're going to get into the playoff, and they proved last year that they're able to compete and win in those games.
Tier 2's got trust issues. And that's where you'll find Oregon, Georgia, and Texas. And, it's the trust issues there. I guess Texas is more tied into Sarkisian than anything else because I think Texas has the talent to certainly rise to the top of all of this. But that's about coaching in that one, wouldn't you say?
Well, it's about being able to win big games. And that's kind of the same thing like with Dan Lanning. They have, I believe in Oregon. I think they're going to make it to the playoff. But when they've gotten there the last 2 years, they have not looked all that good. And there's a similar vibe with Texas. Like last year, they played a couple big games, and they end up losing. And they beat Oklahoma and Red River, and that was all well and good with Mateer, who was kind of gimpy at the point in time. But like Sark's made it into the Final Four 2 of the last 3 years. And I wouldn't say they choked; they were close. But it comes down to the ability to win those big games, and that was the argument people had with Ryan Day. Like, can you win games against your rival? Can you win those big games at the end of the season? That's something that Dan Lanning and Sark, that's what they're kind of fighting, and probably Sark even more than Dan Lanning, because Sark has been a head coach for a lot longer and has experience at multiple stops that are blue blood programs.
Tier 3 is maybe this is their year. BYU, LSU, Oklahoma, A&M, Texas Tech, and USC. I know we've talked about A&M already this year, or this show. Mentioned Oklahoma as well. LSU is going to be intriguing to see what they do, and USC is the other one. And I know, Bob, you said that the buyout, although nothing's public because of the fact they're a private institution, but the buyout for Lincoln Riley and USC might be too much to absorb. Maybe they don't want to. They're not willing to absorb it. But God, the USC, that's a team I want to watch a lot this year because I don't know. I think college ball is better when USC is good, and so I'd like to get back up to that. I don't have a ton of confidence in it.
Well, I mean, Lincoln Riley hasn't given you a reason to have a lot of confidence in it. He's proven that he can have a good offense, and that's great. But outside of that, I mean, defensively they've struggled. Now they apparently are a lot better on the defensive side of the ball, but I've been hearing that for 3 years, and they've had like small little miniature improvements. But this is also a team that lost Illinois, and they struggle. Heck, they lost to, was it Maryland 2 years ago, traveling over there. And so all they do is complain about the travel and everything that they've got to deal with. But, I mean, that's it. You knew you were getting into that when you joined the conference. So I don't want to hear that. I think they have a higher ceiling than a lot of people and maybe on that list. I think, who else is on? You say Ole Miss is on there, or was it LSU?
That LSU was on it. I'll read the again. Yeah, it was BYU, LSU, Oklahoma, A&M, Texas Tech, USC.
I mean, I have more faith in Texas Tech than I do in BYU. I think BYU is really good. I just don't think that they have the top end ability to compete. Where those other teams, I think LSU possibly could, A&M possibly could, USC possibly could. I think BYU, they just have a much more narrow pathway. While they might be more consistently good and don't have as low of floor, but they also don't have that high ceiling like some of those other schools do.
And then the next tier after that is tier 4, which says essentially we're still here, and that's Alabama, Michigan, Ole Miss, and Utah.
See, I would put Ole Miss in that third tier. I think they've got the best running back quarterback duo possibly in college football, and they're going to have a chip on their shoulder. They've got their huge game against LSU at home, and if they win that, their confidence will be sky high, and they'll feel like they're 10 foot tall and bulletproof. And Trinidad Chambliss, I'm a big fan of his with how well he played, and I think he's just going to continue to get better. So I would bump Ole Miss up, for heaven's sake.
I think I would too. It's weird seeing Alabama down there in that tier 4 thing, but I think Ole Miss is. Ole Miss, I think I believe in them a little more also, Bob. I think going up one tier on that, and then tier 5, we'll close it out with this, but it's Iowa. It says always close, always so close, but no cigar. Iowa, Louisville, Penn State, SMU, Tennessee, and the Huskies of Washington.
I mean, I get that. I think Louisville's a team that could make the playoff, though, this year. I think they could challenge in the ACC. I really like Lincoln Kienholz as their quarterback, and I love pairing him up with Braun. You put him and Braun together, I think that's a very dynamic offense. They usually have talent around it. And of a lot of the teams in here, Louisville really cares about winning. They've got they've got a great sports complex down there. They put money into it, and it matters, not just to their athletic department, but their university.
They've got 2 really tough games to start the season. Ole Miss, I think is that a neutral site game? I believe it is, right? Yes. Ole Miss.
I think it's in Nashville.
Yeah, I think you're right, yes. Ole Miss is their first game. Then they've got Villanova, and then they host SMU. But after that, the schedule gets a lot easier with Wake Forest, NC State, Florida State, Syracuse, Stanford, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Pitt, and Kentucky. So, yeah, I mean, I could see a 2-loss Louisville team. If they win one of those first 3 games, though, first one especially, but if they win one of those first 3 and and end up running the table after that, yeah, they'll be in the playoff. I'm excited to watch Louisville this year. I think, Bob, by count, unofficially, I think I've said over the course of the last month and a half that there is about 37 teams I can't wait to see and can't wait to watch this year. I don't know how I'm going to do
Which
it.
we know is a lie because you're not going to watch them, so it's okay.
No, wait, it's not a lie. No, wait, it's not a lie.
Not yet.
No, what I said was that I want to watch this year. That's the truth. I have a 37 teams I'm really excited to watch.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know what? That's like a lot of people's New Year's resolutions. You know, there's a lot of things that they want, but in reality, they're not willing to do what it takes to fulfill it. So you want to watch them, and I respect and appreciate that.
So obviously Miami, heavy favorite in the ACC this year. Probably be a pretty big surprise if they didn't win it and get back into the playoff. As far as the second team in the ACC goes, so you mentioned there SMU and Louisville play week 3, and that's a game that's at Louisville. You mentioned there, Tito, a second ago.
Yep.
Louisville opens up with Ole Miss in the non-conference. SMU goes to Notre Dame in the second to last week of the regular season, late in November. Feels like one of those two teams. Feels like a second ACC team will pop. Maybe not into the 12-team playoff, but if SMU could upset the Irish, or if Louisville could get that week 1 game against Ole Miss, it'd go a long way for one of those two teams getting their way into the 12-team field. And I think they're both capable. I wouldn't bet on it, but I don't think it's crazy to suggest one of those two finding their way in there at 10-2, or maybe even like in a 11-2, and you drop a game, you lose the ACC championship to Miami or something along those lines, Bobby.
Yeah. So if you're Louisville, like winning that Ole Miss game would be great. Beating SMU would be bigger because their goal is to get in the ACC championship. So if you beat SMU, you look at the rest of their schedule. They avoid a lot of the best teams in the ACC. So all you've got to do is get to the championship. If you win, you'll win your way in. Now, you probably have to beat Miami, but if Miami's a second loss in a conference championship game, depending on how that game looked, I mean, that might be enough to possibly push them through. So while it would be nice to beat Ole Miss, like for them in those conferences, like the pathway to get to your conference championship is the best way for you to be able to get into the playoff and have people perceive you to be a really good team. So I think that is probably the more important play for the Louisville Cardinals.
It wouldn't be mid to late August if you didn't hear more from Ryan Day. We got some more sound here from him. Let's start off with Tim talking about the offseason Sayans had and how it's been with Arthur Smith.
Yeah, he's had a good offseason in terms of really found his voice. He's very much more assertive even at this time last year. And that combined with his knowledge for what we're doing on offense, you know, he and Billy spent a lot of time together, but, you know, so does Julian and Arthur. And so, you know, they are having a lot of fun together, I think. You know, and the fact that Arthur's going from Aaron Rodgers to Julian Saying, and I think Julian sees like what a great way to like learn the game. You know, when one of the best all-time quarterbacks was working with Arthur last year, and vice versa. And now like there's just things that you know they get to share and experiences, and I think it's been great. But to me, it's more about you know how that offensive line and those receivers and those tight ends and running backs are going to play for him at the end of the day. He's the leader, and he's going to be the one that's going to have to make the play when the money's down in these big matchup games in the fourth quarter.
I love hearing that from Ryan Day about saying, you know, finding his voice and being more of a leader out there. Not that I don't know how much of a leader he was last year, how much he spoke last year, Bob. But when you've got Day saying that about him, that's just a nice progression of growth that now Saying's more comfortable being the leader.
Well, it's your second year as a starter. It's being a third-year player. It's all those things, like the physical development, the maturity, the fact that those guys look at you and like that whole group of seniors left. So there's not that many guys who are senior to you on the team anymore. And so all of those things that work in concert together. And in doing so, you get more confident. And so you're going to find your voice. You're going to feel more confident talking to JJ about his routes. Like now you're kind of on an equal playing field. You went to New York. You're a Heisman Trophy finalist last year. So, yeah, you can coach up your all-world receiver about, hey, what do you see in here? I'd like it if you did this. How do you feel about, you know, this type of stem or coming out of your break like that? All of those different things, talking to your offensive line, making sure like, hey, this is how this protection needs to sit. This is what I'm seeing up front. Talking to Carson Hinsman, who, you know, has been here for 5 years and played 1 million games. And like, hey, can you take care of this for me and take this ID off the table and I'll handle this part? Like just being, I don't want like more vocal and more confident in it because you played. Like any player after they start and come back as the presumptive starter the next year, like you feel like you have the ability to shape and sculpt your side of the ball, whether it be offense or defense, to a greater degree than you ever did before. Like before, you're just taking plays in. Plays come in, I run what I have, whatever. As you get older, that next year, then it feels like you can start giving input into it as to why are we doing this, how are we doing this, why I think maybe we should do this, maybe we should tweak it a little bit or do that. And so when Ryan talks about finding his voice, like that's all the things. Carson Hinsman like joked, he's like, I called him the clapper early in his career because like they'd have something come in, people were saying, and he's like, yep, come on guys, and just like clap and like let's go in the huddle. Now like there's more to it than that because there's a greater understanding, there's a greater confidence, and people look at him a different way.
Let's play the clip on the linebackers there, Bodie, about how Day's got some confidence in the linebacker room.
Well, I'm actually going to start with TJ and Riley because I think both of those guys are putting in a lot of good work. Steve Stove in there, and again, they're doing a good job on special teams, which is only going to lead to them playing on the field. They're showing up, watch the film, and see how they did in the live work today. And then Peyton and Christian have been solid. So again, another room that we feel like we have depth in. And I think James feels that way. I think you will see us rotate guys and try to figure out how all those pieces work. Matt and James and everybody there on defense does a good job of making sure we put guys in the right position. And so we want to maximize their skill sets. All four of those guys sort of have different skill sets, which is good. I mean, there's certain things they do the same, but they're into it. They're making the calls. They recognize plays quickly and diagnose plays quickly. They look good when they come off the bus, and so. Again, just 9 practices in, but excited about that room in terms of being able to play depth this season.
Do you feel the same way, Bob, about their depth? Do you think they've got that their depth is really solid this year at linebacker?
Yeah, you're going to play a lot more guys at linebacker this year than you did in the last season because Sonny Norvell were really good, and then Peyton was the third guy that they would roll through there. But this year they brought in Christian Allegro, who's been really, really good for him and is fitting that room really, really well. And then he mentioned TJ and Riley, like 2 guys who were freshmen last year who have really stepped up and played better. They worked really hard this offseason. TJ was battling Riley was battling a shoulder, so he missed a lot of spring, didn't really get to do much. TJ, who maybe wasn't as heralded and didn't have as good early years as a freshman, like he got better throughout the season and had a really great spring. And so like those guys are going to play, like all 4 of those guys. I think Stove's going to play out there. Like they've got 5 dudes who can all do things uniquely that can get them on the field. And so like that's the task then with Matt Patricia and James Laurinaitis is, hey, you guys are good enough to deserve to be on the field. One of our attributes as Ohio State is our depth. Well, depth's only an attribute if you choose to use it. And so like how can we use all of the players that we have? And Matt Patricia has historically done a great job of this. And in the NFL, like it's another difference maker where like if I've got a guy that can do like A really well, like I'm not going to worry about B, C, D, and E that he maybe isn't as great at. Let's have him do A because there's going to be other guys that maybe struggle with that. And so we can package some of these things, put guys together, put them in winning situations. That's going to take stress off guys, going to take reps off guys. You're going to be maximizing guys' ability. It'll keep guys engaged. Like it'll be a very, very positive situation. And it's going to be a challenge for Matt and James to figure that out.
Coming up next, we're going to go from one of the most successful college football teams to one of the least successful NFL teams in recent years. We'll talk to Jake Burns, Browns Film Breakdown. That's next. Morning Juice.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town and the opportunity to work right alongside them as partners? Whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area, and they're going to help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them in person at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I pitched in the major leagues for 24 years, and let me tell you, I can feel it in my joints. Shoulders, elbows, and knees. Trust me, pain doesn't retire when you do. I tried everything to get rid of the pain. Nothing worked until QC Kinetics.
Baseball legend Roger Clemens and other patients are getting lasting relief with QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. No surgery.
I trust QC Kinetics. You should too. Let's commit to getting rid of all the pain.
Schedule your free consultation today. QC Kinetics. Better starts here.
Everybody thinks they're a great driver.
And Outlaw Motor Speedway gives you a chance to prove it.
Experience professional racing simulators, full motion rigs, and some of the world's most iconic tracks right here in Grandview.
Race your friends, join the league, or bring the entire office out for an unforgettable corporate event.
And when the checkered flag drops, keep the night going with great drinks and food right here or next door with the Gavian Ride.
Then climb back in the driver's seat and see who has what it takes.
Don't miss out. Book your race today. OutlawSimRacing.com.
Since 1969, Germain Toyota of Columbus has been delivering an exceptional experience to Central Ohio drivers. Whether it's versatile SUVs, stylish trucks, or efficient hybrids, Germain Toyota has a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles at customer-friendly rates, backed by 2 years of maintenance with Toyota Care and same-day service from our trusted team of technicians. Experience the difference with every drive at Germain Toyota of Columbus.
Delaware County Veteran Services is a county office that faithfully assists veterans of Delaware County. Although not the Department of Veterans Affairs, we help veterans and their dependents navigate through the process of applying for benefits administered by the VA, and we provide transportation to VA medical facilities. So if you're a military veteran or a spouse of a veteran, schedule your appointment today. A wide range of VA and local benefits may be available to you. Delaware County Veteran Services, conveniently located in the historic courthouse in Delaware.
The 10 TV Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the news you need. 10 TV Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now. Tito has had 2 wives. They've both been named Heather. If you know someone named Heather, please warn her. This is Morning Juice.
Morning Juice. Oh, I'm sorry, Bob.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town? The opportunity to work alongside them as partners, whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin, they've got the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area. They're going to help you reach your goals. So if it's an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment finance to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in and get to know them at 6300 France Road, Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Head out now to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Jake Burns joins us, Browns Film Breakdown. And thank you for taking the time today, Jake, to talk to us. And I'm curious, after that Deshaun Watson performance, Todd Monken said it was awesome. When you watched Deshaun Watson play, did you have the same vibe about his performance?
I don't know if I would go with the word awesome. Listen, I think he hasn't played football in 22 months. A lot of injuries, a lot of things have gone on, and I think that there's still a lot of the tendencies that have given him some trouble in recent memory. Not the Houston guy who was a welcome into that chaos type of football that he was really good at. A special player to get out of some of the situations in the pocket and keep plays extended, kind of that backfield creator stuff. He hasn't had that in Cleveland. Never really been able to put that together in the same way. So as his body has aged, a couple Achilles tears, shoulder surgery, serious shoulder surgery, he's not been able to really convert into winning from the pocket consistently. He gets a little antsy, he gets a little afraid of pressure, and then he kind of has this tendency to either lose his mechanics or whatever else. And it kind of displayed itself again in a pretty consistent fashion in this game. Anytime pressure got close, he did struggle to figure out solutions. And even when pressure wasn't close, he kind of had that ghost feeling of there's pressure here, so I need to maybe overextend myself or whatever. It's still come up. He's still a lot of the same things. To his credit, he did make some throws. He did make some plays. He had a great ball to Jerry Jeudy, one to Denzel Boston, a couple throws to Concepcion. He did make some throws. And I think that Monken's whole thing with his structure of offensive football is that if he puts together a run game he knows will work, he's very confident in that. If you listen to him talk about it, he thinks he can make the run game work. And I think that's where the Browns' most offensive talent is, Quinshon and some of the others, and kind of putting that together. If he can get Deshaun Watson to play average football, he thinks there's plenty of wins on this schedule. So I understand certainly where Todd's coming from. And I think with Deshaun Watson, if he can keep him healthy this year and try to continue to get him more comfortable throughout the year, I think he can get a baseline of quarterback play that he thinks can win him some football games. But that's not to change the fact that I think he largely played like the same quarterback he's been since he arrived in Cleveland, a guy who's not successfully pushing the football downfield, afraid to at times push the football downfield, and is kind of trying to live in that 1 to 10 yard range of distance of target. So it kind of boxes you in as an offense, and we'll see if Todd's able to overcome that and make Deshaun push it down the field a little bit more.
Yeah, it's tough. No matter how accurate you are within 10 yards in your run game, like you've got to be able to stretch the field, or those safeties are going to be sitting there all day, and you've got to play have somewhat of a vertical threat. And they have the receivers to be able to do it, so hopefully they'll be able to push it a little bit. You know, when you see Shedeur Sanders, then after seeing Deshaun, what is the gap in your mind between their level of consistency with play, and then is there a difference in ceiling as well?
Yeah, great question. So I think there's like a variance here where, like, you know, there's a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL who do like 90% of, not a lot, there's a few. There's a really good elite group that does like 90% of things really well, and then the 10% of things they struggle with, they, you know, some of that 10% is worse for some guys than others. And then there's like probably a range of guys who are maybe in that 80-20 range. I would say Deshaun and Shedeur in that 75-25. 75% of plays they're making are doing the right thing, what they're asked to do within any given concept. 25% is a wide amount of variance there that things go wrong. What's the 25% of plays that don't go well? And Shedeur's amount of variance when things don't go well is too broad right now. It's either, you know, a football knockdown because he's staring at a target. He's drifting in the pocket too far and ends up taking a negative play, a sack, a 9-yard loss that really can, you know, in the NFL, losing yards like that is just a death sentence on any drive. Or he's missing a throw like we saw in the preseason game, or he's kind of sailing it high. Or obviously also we've seen him in last year's setup kind of maybe take some free will and try to make some plays that just don't go well. I think with Shedeur, what I would phrase is he plays without urgency sometimes. He's got to take his tempo to a higher level. And I understand that as a quarterback, you want to play it cool. You don't want to be impacted by pass rush. You don't want to have, you know, too much of that jittery feeling. But I think at times he doesn't understand when his urgency needs to be higher against a specific defensive call. There's a window in the 2-second range that you got to get a football thrown. There's an example of that football thrown to Luke Flourier downfield, the 35-yard completion. It's a 3rd and 13, and he's getting an all-out blitz, a zero blitz, and he kind of drifts back in the pocket. He hits 5 steps and then drifts a little bit and throws it to Flourier. It works out. It's a completion 35 yards downfield. But what he doesn't process is right in front of him, there's a shallow from Gage Larvadain from the left to the right that the corner, who's an off man, has a terrible angle on and doesn't even get there anywhere near him. And Shedeur doesn't see it. And it's just that stuff's easier to throw that, let your guy run for 20, 25 yards. You don't put the stress on your offensive line. You as a quarterback don't take a gnarly hit. There's just this example. Like, I don't think there's a future with Deshaun Watson with the Browns beyond this season. So I'm not even saying I believe that Shedeur shouldn't get 17 games to either sink or swim, because obviously long-term that would work out for the Browns. If he works out, he works out. That's great. If he doesn't, then he probably helps you get almost in a Deshaun Kaiser-like fashion, the first pick or second pick in the upcoming draft, which we think they'll obviously have a chance at getting a quarterback of the future. But I think that that's where people struggle, is like trying to sort of place like what Shedeur isn't doing. What he has to have better tempo, and his variance of his 20 to 25% of plays that don't go right is very broad. And I think Todd Monken doesn't want to deal with that variance that's so wide. And I can see why he has an urgency to play Deshaun Watson, who does a little less of that. Despite, like you said, Bobby doesn't push the football downfield, and that has its own hindrance. But I think ultimately that's why a coach would be a little bit more into a guy with better tempo, better process, and he'll get rid of it quicker and not put us in a bunch of negative situations.
Jake Burns joins us here on the Bryant Heating. Oh, go ahead, Bob.
Well, on the Bryant Heating Cooling Fan Guest Hotline. And Jake, so, you know, listening to that, obviously it sounds like, you know, there is a chance where Shedeur can maybe make some of those bigger plays just on the consistency level. Is lack of urgency is like one of the worst things a coach could ever tell you. I don't know if there's any other way to say that. Like Paolo Pasqualoni, my linebacker coach, once said, football is not a casual deal. So you need to have some degree of urgency with it. In your mind, if they gave Shedeur, let's say 10 games, is that enough to evaluate? Or what do you think the sample size would need to be for his evaluation this year before you could definitively say, yeah, there might be a little more upside than Deshaun, but the odds of really hitting that now, it's like we're talking about threading a needle from 3 feet away.
Again, great question. I think that's what everybody's weighing. Like, did the time that Shador got last year playing, and we can agree that he played last year with a really rough offense around him. They hadn't made a bunch of additions to the offensive line that was aging. It was a bad receiver core. This year, things around the quarterback are in a better place. Both of these young wide receivers, Denzel Boston, and then obviously what we saw from Casey Concepcion live in a preseason game, who's just a perfect fit for what Todd Monken loves to do with an offense. You mix in Harold Fannin in another year. We think Quinshon Judkins looks really healthy. The offensive line developing, but some much better pieces up there. 10 games is probably a good enough sample size. I think that if you try to maybe trot him out there for like, I don't know, 6 or 7, you could get into a place where it's maybe not definitive enough. I mean, listen, I'm a believer that they should give them all 17. I know I just said that, but like that's the case I'm in. If you've invested this much time in a young guy, you took him in the 5th round, you gave him starts last year, I would give him a run. That's just because I simply don't feel like Deshaun Watson is aging very well in football. Like, some of it his own undoing, obviously, but his body's failing him. And obviously he never quite learned how to play the position in a way that you have to as an older guy who's losing athleticism. And I think that's hindering him as he grows older. Now, obviously, the biggest thing hindering him is he's not playing football games because of injuries and suspension and the like. And that's tough to do as a quarterback. So I just think like the Browns are thinking about the future of everything right now. And I think it's easy to see that they have made deals and acquisitions that are about having a better quarterback situation in 2027. And the fair question is Shador Sanders going to get enough time in the 25 and 26 combined stretches of time to prove one way or the other that he isn't the answer? And I think we'll get that answer because I think he'll start enough games this year. But I also think that there's a chance we don't totally get that perfect answer. And they take a quarterback anyway, because that's the football world as we know it in the NFL, and it's not always fair. So I think that all signs point to a 27 quarterback unless Shador and his number of starts, whatever that is just lights out. And I just haven't seen him show that he's a different quarterback than last year in terms of some of the things. He does some things that really do excite you, but then there's too many other things in that 20 to 25% window that just like NFL offenses can't live in that space. Whereas in college, you can find a way to maybe overcome that. You can't do that in the NFL because everything in these games that are so tight is just under a microscope, and you can't put your team at any disadvantage.
Jake, you mentioned the offensive line, and I know complete overhaul this year. What have you seen so far from that group?
Yeah, I mean, training camp is tough at times to see from the sideline, and like you really want to, just want to hack in and get the all 22 in the end zone view to really get a feel for it. The first game wasn't great, but I would also say they didn't do anything to help the run game. They weren't really motion driven. They weren't really doing anything to lighten boxes. And I don't think they really tried to get creative with it. But I think they feel good about 4 positions. Spencer Fano, their rookie out of Utah, left tackle, had a really nice performance in his debut. He's been good at camp. Jared Verse said yesterday he will be disrespectful to see if he can get to a place with a young player that they'll fight back. And I think that that's been really good for Spencer. And Spencer has noted, like, every day in practice, I'm going up against the best player I've ever played against. So that's good. That's in a good spot. I think they feel good about him. Left guard is Zion Johnson. They feel good about him. He's going to play. He comes over from the Chargers. He'll start. Center's Elton Jenkins from Green Bay, who's done a nice job throughout his career. There's a little more ambiguity with him playing center, but he'll play. He'll start. He'll be fine. The right tackle's Titus Howard, who they traded for. So they like those 4. They're trying to figure out the right guard position, which is kind of a little bit of an open battle between Tevin Jenkins, who had a bit of an injury-marred Chicago career before coming to Cleveland last year, and then is trying to anchor and prove himself to play right guard. He's got the head start. I think he's out in front of KT Leviston, who's a guy they traded for before last year with the Rams, started at tackle a lot last year, and it's the Browns' situation at tackle has been so rough for a few years. Not a good fit there. They've moved him inside to guard, so that right guard spot's the only real battle. And then DeWan, obviously the local Columbus product here. Jones has gotten he's in his 4th year. He's going to be a swing tackle for them. He may play a little bit. We'll see if there's opportunities for him to play this year with injuries. And then another Ohio State product, Luke Whippler, will be along the interior line offensive depth there that they like. He's had a nice camp. And then They drafted a kid in the 4th round, Austin Barber, who will be another player who can play left or right tackle for him. It's better. It's better than last year, which is just an aging veteran group who wasn't very good. And just this happens. Offensive lines, you get older, you sort of body wear and tear and all of that. And then guys just staying on the field, they couldn't get enough of that in any sort of consistent fashion. So they'll be better. How much better? I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll see how they gel and develop. George Warhop is a nice, really good offensive line coach from years with the Ravens. They seem to like him and they seem to be responding well enough. But again, kind of like what we have to see with this entire offense is a lot of new faces, a lot of new pieces. And I think Todd Monken's a good play caller. It's just kind of like seeing how it all gels, right? And Todd mentioned he hasn't called plays on the sideline since Mississippi State, or Southern Miss days when he was the head coach there. And that's over a decade ago now. So I like the pieces. I like where they're at. I like their process. I've even liked a lot of things I've seen from training camp and the first preseason game. But as with anything, you got to see it all come together before you make any hyperbolic predictions.
Okay, so yeah, we don't need to make any hyperbolic predictions on the Browns with where they're at. I think it's pretty clear they're in a rebuild. And so as we're rebuilding this thing, Jake, like the offensive line's better, quarterback's still trying to figure it out. You like the running back room. Defense has been really solid. No Jim Schwartz this year. What is the strength of this team, whether it's a position group, a particular thing that they do well? Just looking at totality, where do you think that they can kind of lean into as their bread and butter?
Well, the defense should be good. Like you mentioned, they're still a version of what Jim Schwartz likes to do. They brought in Mike Rutenberg from Atlanta, who coached the DBs. He was the secondary pass game coordinator there, with an intention to be a little bit more diverse. Like, I think Jim Schwartz is great. That guy knows more about football and a portion of his brain than I could ever know, right? I think he's done a great job helping the Browns identify as a very pressure-oriented team. We're going to walk down, get in your face, play man coverage. We don't really care if you know what we're doing. We're going to do this, and we're going to we're going to make you uncomfortable. They've done it for years, and I think that they still believe in that identity. They don't care if if we're playing low hole or high hole Rob stuff. We're gonna make it uncomfortable for you to throw. We're gonna have. The difference was Myles Garrett was always there threatening and kind of making you put an extra body on him all the time, whether that was a tight end and making you sit in 11 personnel where you weren't getting the tight end out, or 12 personnel where you were committing 2 tight ends to him to slow him down at times. That part of it's different. So I think they wanted a little bit more diverse approach in the secondary to be able to be a bit more deceptive, changing looks on quarterbacks pre to post snap, playing a bit more varied coverage types, maybe a little more quarters, in trying to get a little different on quarterbacks where I think, because obviously, listen, Jared Verse is a very, very good defensive end. I think he's top 10 in the NFL at that position, but he's not Myles, and he doesn't win in the way that Myles did and in the way that made quarterbacks super uncomfortable. But I do think everything around them has gotten better. I think Mason Graham in his second year is going to be better. I think Alex Wright on the opposite side has gotten better over time and is in a really good position, and so is Isaiah McGuire. The linebacker group should be very strong. Carson Schlesinger and Quincy Williams. And then their first 4 DBs, Grant Delpit, Ronnie Hickman, Denzel Ward, obviously, and then Tyson Campbell, are very good. It's a very good 11. Now they have to figure out, I should say 10. They need to figure out who their other one is. Are they going to play Emmanuel McNeil-Warren at the third safety role and get a little more 4-2-5 out there, the rookie out of Toledo? Or are they going to play a DB more like a corner, like a Miles Harden, who they've played? That's what they have to figure out. Little piece on defense, but the defense is the strength. That's what's going to be the calling card. But I think Todd's approach to offensive football is refreshing and different from how Kevin thought about it and approached it, and the people Kevin had working with him to call plays the last 2 years. So I do think they're going to be better. I think the skill talent's better on offense. It should be a better group, but I do think there's is the quarterback going to be such a hindrance that they can't put enough things together to win enough games? A lot of winnable games on the schedule. It's one of those schedules, but that's the thing. Defense will be the calling card again. Will it be as good as last year? I don't think so, but it doesn't have to be. If the offense can be a little better, defense still maybe a top 12, top 10 group, then you can be in and win a lot of football games.
Jake, we appreciate the time. Thank you so much. We'll check in again with you during the season.
Guys, thanks for having me. I always really appreciate being here.
You bet. That was Jake Burns, Browns Film Breakdown. Bob, don't think I didn't notice that you got 2 either really good or great questions, and I got none. That's a bit disappointing for me, but nonetheless, that was good. I loved his take on this.
The DeShone Kizer. Felt like a stray there.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't call Deshaun Carson my favorite Notre Dame quarterback ever, but he wasn't the worst one.
That's fair. Fair point there. All right, folks. Coming up next, the greatest show in television history will live on, it looks like. And also, we'll tell you who's got his juice, Morning Juice.
Delaware County Veteran Services is a county office that faithfully assists veterans of Delaware County. Although not the Department of Veterans Affairs, we help veterans and their dependents navigate through the process of applying for benefits administered by the VA, and we provide transportation to VA medical facilities. So if you're a military veteran or a spouse of a veteran, schedule your appointment today. A wide range of VA and local benefits may be available to you. Delaware County Veteran Services, conveniently located in the historic courthouse in Delaware.
At QC Kinetics Columbus, patients find lasting joint pain relief. Regenerative treatments help repair damaged tissue. No surgery, downtime, or steroids.
Knee pain's something I lived with since the big game. And I'm over surgeries. That's how I found QC Kinetics. I was able to get in, see the doctors, do the treatment, and get my knee feeling basically brand new. I can work out, run, most importantly, chase my son around the house and the yard, and do my job without any pain.
Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. Better starts here.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
Since 1969, Germain Toyota of Columbus has been delivering an exceptional experience to Central Ohio drivers. Whether it's versatile SUVs, stylish trucks, or efficient hybrids, Germain Toyota has a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles at customer-friendly rates, backed by 2 years of maintenance with Toyota Care and same-day service from our trusted team of technicians. Experience the difference with every drive at Germain Toyota of Columbus.
Morning Juice is now live on YouTube. Join Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Thitoff weekday mornings from 6 to 8.
Just search 971 The Fan to catch the live experience or watch on demand.
The Fan.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town and the opportunity to work right alongside them as partners? Whether you're a small business or a large operation, Riverside Bank of Dublin has the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area, and they're going to help you reach your goals. So whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them in person at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The 10 TV Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the news you need. 10 TV Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now. Tito invited the new Russian family who moved in down the street to watch Rocky IV. It did not go well. I must break you. This is Morning Juice.
Morning Juice, final segment of the program. Thank you to Jake Burns for joining us there. Loved his answers. Thank you to all the chatters, the juicers in there today. We appreciate that as well. Bob, I think the three of us can agree the greatest television show in history is PTI with Michael Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser.
That you watch every day? Never missed an episode?
I've never missed an episode, Bob. They're on hiatus right now because I think Little League World Series, but they come back, I think, like it's August 27th, if I'm not mistaken.
What's amazing is, Bodie and I talked about this. If you watched it every day, they kind of cover every sports story. And there's some things that you don't have a general awareness about that I know they talk about. So I'm curious how those two things can maybe coexist.
That sounds like a podcast episode for us to do at some point, Bob. Because I can't explain it, Bob. I do. I watch the show every day.
Maybe it's unexplainable.
I watch it every day, but I'm sorry. I don't watch it every day. I've seen every episode. Let me put it that way. Because sometimes I DVR it and watch it the next day.
I just still have my doubts on that.
Every single episode.
You watch old news. You're like my parents. You watch old news. Like,
yeah.
I feel like it's kind of like they do the quick rundown. It's like the newspaper you're scrolling through. So
Sure.
the next day it may not be as pertinent or as relevant as it was. Like, do you watch yesterday's weather? because it already happened. You know exactly what it was.
Have you thought about reaching out to the worldwide leader and being like, hey, I know the Little League World Series is on, but can we get the boys together for 15 minutes just so I can get my fix?
Right, yeah. Yeah, I know it's old news, Bob, but if I watch it the next day, but look, you can't keep a streak if you break it. So now it's like, now it is a goal of mine after the conversations we've had and the fact you are still doubting me. I am going to watch every episode of PTI for the rest of my life.
All right. So I guess the point is, what do we define as watching? Like, it's just generally on in the background while you're doing something else and not paying attention, or are you actually consuming the content?
Yes, I would say to the answer to that one, because Bob, there's not many things that I just focus on to watch. Like usually there's something else going on that I'm also doing. It might be on my phone looking up something. I might hear a stat on PTI. I say, wow, that sounds weird. Let me look that up and see that what I don't understand. I think it had happened since then. I'll look it up. I'll question PTI sometimes.
Oh yeah, because ESPN they don't have as many resources as you to look that up.
The Schwab's gone, Bob. Right? Stump the Schwab. He's dead. Howie Schwab. He's gone.
They have it's called AI. They've got all kinds of people there. They've got Hembo. I mean, the information archives that they have that when I was working that you have access to, dude, you can find anything in 5 minutes. Like
man versus machine, though, Bob. Man versus machine. I want to take them on sometimes.
Like Dwight Schrute.
Yes, exactly.
On the computer.
Yes.
I think I might just like once a month.
Yeah.
Starting next month, we're already about halfway through and change of this one. Watch PTI.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to come in and quiz you the next day.
That's fine.
And nothing too difficult.
No,
just like fine. If you watched it, you would have probably known this.
Okay. Keep in mind, it might be a day where I DVR it and watch it the next day.
Okay. I'll come
which
in.
will be my out.
And which it sounds like you're already setting it up for any time I come in and ask questions.
No.
But if you ever do that, maybe I don't know. But I'll come in and at least let you know during the show, hey, I'm going to quiz you.
All right. They have a Betty
and if you tell me you recorded it, I won't spoil it because I would never want to spoil
you also
PTI.
You also won't believe me if I tell you I didn't. That I'm going to watch the connection.
I
you
wouldn't
won't believe me
you at all. But I'd be respectful out of spoiling.
I appreciate that.
Hey, Bodie, how many mulligans or I recorded it today or does he get in like over the course of a week?
Well, see, the problem is whatever I set the number at, I think he's just going to break it, if I'm being honest.
Okay, let me just tell you this. I'll tell you, this summer, a lot of the times what would happen is I would pick Artie up from camp at 5:30, and then right around 5:30, and he'd want to watch it in the car, and so I'd put it up there, and it would be in the car on the holder there, the phone holder, and we'd flip it horizontally, so we can get the whole landscape of it, and we would watch it while driving home.
If you recorded it, though, why?
I do. No, it's set on my. If you look on my DirecTV streaming thing, where it's got like a library. No, it's direct. If you look at it though, it will say I've got more than 100 episodes in there. It automatically records it every day.
Oh,
so
technology,
yeah,
beautiful.
Great.
Speaking of Tito's takes.
Yes,
Bobby, You sent me this the other day. Did you see, Tito? There's another person, we'll say, sports figure, getting a statue.
Getting a sports figure statue?
Yeah, and I believe one of Tito's takes is that there are too many statues.
The Fitbit, there are way too many statues.
Way too many.
Yeah, way too many. No, which sports figure is getting one now?
You want to break this for him?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, yep. Well, I saw this, and then unfortunately, it was a day that you were out.
Is it Coward Sick Petty?
Out.
Well, you were out.
Sleeping. Yeah. That's fine. Go ahead, Bob.
It's actually Sister Jean is going to be getting one.
Okay.
So, I guess she straddles the sports and the divine realm. So, maybe not full sports, but she does factor into those Final Four run.
I would hope that it's more about the godly side than the sports side. I don't count that one, but because look,
which is more important.
It's not this time of year. I mean, about Christmas, I got it. But yeah, like right now, though.
They made the Final Four.
Okay, I understand that. Did they win? No. Anyway, so Bob, I don't agree with giving Sister Jean a statue. I don't care. I don't agree with it. I don't think it's if we're going to call it sports statue, I don't agree with it. Life statue, maybe. I don't know, but I don't know what kind of impact she's had on the community. But sports statue, I don't think she's sports statue worthy. The point of all this, though, is Wilbon said that he'd consider continuing PTI with Frank Isola if Tony Kornheiser retires. Isola's a great guest host on there. My favorite guest host is Dan Lebitard from years ago, but you'll see Isola on there. Isola's like their go-to guy now.
Well, rank him.
Okay, we go.
PTI.
That's it. Lebitard
Give me a top
1.
4 or 5.
I would give Lebitard 1.
Okay.
I would give Isola 2.
All right.
I'm trying to think who else did. No,
seen every episode. So.
Mina's pretty good. Mina Kind's pretty good.
Okay.
I like her as well. I'm trying to think of the other hosts that came through though.
Pablo Torre.
Pablo Torre. Yeah, Torre's been
been
really good lately. Yeah, at first
Bill
he was. I didn't
Simmons
think he was
on
good.
it back when he was at ESPN.
What's that?
Bill Simmons.
He was.
Simmons.
Bill was back then.
I don't think Simmons was
That
that
was a
great
long
when he was on
time
there, though.
ago.
Yeah, I don't think he did many episodes either. But I used to love Lebitard the most because he would just disrupt the show completely and throw tornadoes.
Imagine that.
I don't think that was necessary, Bob. But anyway, and he would frustrate Kornheiser with some of his antics.
We
some of his
found
things.
the source of inspiration.
And every time he started the show, Kornheiser would say, Wilbon's out today, and I'm really sorry what's about to happen next. And Lebitard would spin his chair around and go, bam! And that was always it.
There's the pointing, too.
Yes, he would point when he did it, too, yes.
Maybe you have seen every episode. Maybe.
I'm telling you, I'm
starting
going
to
back.
doubt myself.
They say you should. They had hair at one point, too. All right, let's tell people what's got us juiced.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, Tuesday, Schlegs.
The smartest people in all the rooms doesn't mean anything to me. I can give 2 craps about how much paper you got, and I got 2 of them. I give 2 craps, right? It's about action.
Like how he goes from 1 crap to 2 once he remembered. He's like, well, shoot, I have 2 degrees. All right, guys, what has me juiced on this Tuesday as we inch our way closer to college football season was definitely juiced, I guess-ish, about the preseason AP Top 25 poll coming out yesterday when I woke up and saw that after a nap. I always feel like people kind of complain about it a little bit too much.
Right.
We know it doesn't really mean anything,
yeah.
but it's still fun to look at. It's still fun to talk about. It's good content for us, so that's great. Also,
and PTI.
And PTI, I'm sure they broke it down yesterday. I had to tell.
1
to 25 and maybe even 26 to 50. I haven't watched yesterday's episode yet.
They don't have it. They don't have to August 27th.
because the
Little League World Series. Yep.
Those damn kids.
I know.
What also has me juiced was new equipment day yesterday at the gym.
Oh.
They had some new equipment delivered late last week. I took a little test drive yesterday.
Yeah.
Legs are a little tender,
Yeah.
a little sore. Leg extension, leg curl, nice little Smith machine, deep squat. It's good for the soul, Tito. Can't spell legendary without leg day in there.
Maybe I'll try that.
So that all has me juiced. And then,
That's so funny. Maybe I'll try that.
So sure, why not? There's no TVs there, but maybe we can bring in an iPad and throw PTI on.
I used to love doing that. I'd get on the treadmill and watch PTI. That was always fun, too.
Love.
Okay.
Maybe. So that all has me juiced on this Tuesday. Bobby, what has you juiced, sir?
Oh, man. Well, I'm excited to not have to do the show anymore at 3 o'clock in the morning. That 2:30 wake up, it's a little paranoia there that it might not come through. My dad's like, you get into bed. I'm like, I'm going to fall asleep like 9:30, 10, like 8:30, 9 o'clock here. So I got a little bit, going to take a 45-minute nap. As I was driving from Tucson to Phoenix, stopped last time. I was like, where am I going to get dinner? I want to go someplace consistent. I want to be quick.
Sbarro.
No, I'm not going to – come on. Let's go.
New
I like
York
Sbarro.
finest.
I'm not getting pizza out in Phoenix. And I was like, you know what? Every single exit had a Waffle House.
There you
so
go.
You know what? I was like, you know what I'd really like? I'd like some breakfast for dinner. I'm going to get some eggs. They had this Philly cheesesteak little deal that you get meat you put beside it, mixed it all together, smashed that. Like I sat there for about 10 minutes waiting on it. I ate it in about 90 seconds, paid my bill. She's like, that was quick. I'm like, well, I'm hungry and I want to go to bed. So got back in the car, headed out. But it was great to spend the day with my cousin and aunt after losing my uncle on Sunday. So very eventful trip. I had not been to their house in Tucson since back during the Fiesta Bowl days of my college years. And so it was great getting a chance to head over to their house and hang out a little bit before heading back here this afternoon, getting to do some Sirius XM here in an hour. So I'm going to take a 45-minute nap, wake up, do another show.
Yeah, make sure your alarm's set the right way, Bob.
No, here's the thing. I set my alarms last night. And I actually, even if you want to see this, just to make sure I didn't get anything confused, I put down like when the show times were on West Coast time when I'm out here to make sure that those things wouldn't obviously hinder me. And then I found this little great nugget. And like people love to smash on Tom Brady and with everything else, but I always loved Tom. He was a great guy to play with. He's really one of the more genuine dudes that you'll have. And I found this. It's a great thing. Good News USA on Instagram. I try to follow some stuff that has some positive impacts in your life. And their center, Dan Coppin, shattered both ankles in 2011 in a preseason game. 48 hours later, the Patriots cut him. 11 years of service, no severance, no rehab coverage. Tom Brady called the front office. They said no. Called him again. They said no. Called a third time. They said no. So Brady refused to sign his $31 million contract extension for 9 days. The deal sat on the table unsigned while one of the most important quarterbacks in NFL history waited. The team finally agreed to cover Coppin's full surgical and rehabilitation costs. Dan called him from the hospital, said, "They told me you held up everything." Brady said, "You held the line for me. That's the deal." Coppin kept a photo of the unsigned contract on his fridge for 12 years. And, Tom's a great dude, man. Does a lot of great stuff for people that goes unnoticed. And, good story right there for teammates helping each other out, obviously, when you can. That had me juiced when I read that this morning, getting everything set up here. And then there's always a little anxiety when I get everything set up. I had checked the internet last night, had everything set up, ready to go. I had 2 computers ready just in case I had issues like I did before. Thankfully, it all went off without a hitch 2 days in a row. How about that? Decided to fly back and be there with you guys. And tomorrow will be my son's first middle school game. So excited to get back and be able to see all of that. Thitoff, what's got you juiced?
Well, speaking of ankle injuries, Bob, I kind of twisted my ankle yesterday in the Ironman. It started pouring out there.
Walking your dog?
It started pouring out there.
Put your gear on.
And I tried to swing really hard on this one shot on the wet grounds, and I turned my ankle a little bit and then hurt my back as well. I had to withdraw after 27 holes, but I did still end up with the top 10 finish because there was 10 of us. Baker was in the lead for a while. Ryan Baker was, then he folded like a cheap suit. But my one buddy who won it, Adam, he tells me before the round, comes up, gives me a hug and said, "Happy anniversary." I said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "You and I have been friends for 25 years this Friday." He said, "That's when I started the Dispatch. We met, we became friends, all that stuff. We're the 2 best friends in the whole wide world, whatever." But anyway, and I was like, that's awesome. I said, "I didn't think about that. Thank you for doing that. It meant a lot to me. It touched my heart that somebody else had kept track of that. It's a happy 25th anniversary of us being friends." And then he texted me later on last night and said, "I miscounted. It's only 24 years. So anyway, not nearly as important now, I guess, but nonetheless, had a great time out there yesterday with the boys and playing some golf. So, folks, we are back tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Bobby, safe travels. This is Morning Juice.